ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। So we were looking at the sixth Brahmana of the first chapter. So five Brahmanas we have finished, and the most important Brahmana in this is the fourth one. The fourth one, 1410 has Aham Brahmasmi, the Mahavakya, and also 147 has what is called as Vidya Sutram, Atma Ityeva Upasita, and 147 also has Pravesha Shruti is there. So it talks about the Srishti and how Brahman entered this Srishti. Sa iha pravishtaha, like that the Pravesha Shruti is there. So the Shankara Bhashya in 147 and 1410 are very, very important. So whoever is joining newly, you can go back because I'm uploading all the recordings. You can at least start from 14 in general. Here, after that in 1410, there is something called Avidya Sutram, where it is said that only the Ajnani does upasana of a devata as not self. Okay. So Ajnani only sees Anatma and does upasana of devata also as Anatma, as something different from oneself. Such a person is an Ajnani. That is called Avidya Sutram in Brihadaranyaka. And then, in fact, after that 1410, the 14, that fourth Brahmana, then fifth Brahmana is called Saptanna Brahmana, where 7 annas or foods were discussed, and all of them are Anatma only again. It was shown that for Ajnanis, they are only creating their own world. And the Jiva is the one who is creating his or her own world, the individual, by constantly doing karma and also accumulating karma. And this cannot be stopped as long as you are an Ajnani. This was also pointed out. In the 1.4 also, Jiva was originally presented as the Pashu, Devanam Pashu. That means the Jiva is a Bhokta for others. First it was pointed out like that. After the Avidya Sutram in the fourth Brahmana, a Jiva is the one who is taken advantage of by everybody else, by other beings, by even animals and the Devas, because Jiva is the one who is working for all these people. The Jiva, by doing Nitya Karma, Naimitika Karma, Kamya Karma, all types of karma, is the one who is offering his effort, his services, offerings, sacrifice, whatever you call it, everything is being offered by the Jiva. So first the Jiva was shown as a Bhogya Padartha, means the one who is enjoyed by others. Then in 1.5, the same Jiva is shown as a Bhokta, the one who is enjoying the karma phala of his own karma. These things have been discussed already. Now finally, the sixth Brahmana is summarizing this this Srishti itself as Anatma. And what is the nature of this creation? You can see here, Yo Havai Jeshtam. Sorry, I think I went into some other. I went into the sixth chapter instead of sixth Brahmana.
Yeah,
Even the
that's
link
what
I
I
gave
was
you is
wondering.
wrong, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not an issue. So this is the verse here. Trayam va idam nama rupam karma. Tesham namnam vagityeta desham uktam ataha hi sarvani namani uttishtanti. So whatever is there here, whatever is available as this here, this objective world which we are encountering in all our experiences is nothing but only these three things. Like this, the Upanishad is summarizing here. What are those three things? Nama, Rupam, Karma. It is names, forms, and action. So everything you can categorize into name, form, and action, the entire creation. And here, these three things are further discussed to show that this Nama, Rupam, Karma is not Atma. It is all Anatma. That is what the Upanishad wants to show here. And so it is now showing you the nature of these three things also as something different from Atma. So how does it show that? Here it is saying, Tesham namnam vagityeta tesham uktham ataha hi sarvani namani uttishtanti. Now if you take the names amongst them, amongst the three, you take the name has Vak as its Uktham. Uktham means Bhashyakara gives the meaning of Karana, Upadana Karana. So here, all names are nothing but Vak. Vak means normally the meaning is organ of speech, but here the meaning is sound in general. So all names are nothing but sound. Sound is the Sama or Samanya in all names. It can be a name in any language, but all of them are nothing but sound in general. That's why further the Upanishad says that Eta Desham Sama. Okay, so this Uktam means Karanam, I told you, and whatever is the Karanam is also called Sama. Whatever was first called as Uktam is now called as Sama. Why it is called Sama? Because Etad hi sarvaihi namabihi samam. Because for all names, this is general. It is there. In all names, sound is there as their very nature. Therefore, it is also called Sama. And finally, it says Eta Desham Brahma. Since it is there as the Karanam is the Atma of the Karya, because the Karya does not exist other than being the Karana, particularly the Upadana Karana. Now, this Karana Karya Prakriya is discussed in detail in the same Brihadaranyaka Bhashya 1.3. There is a Ghata Bhashya is there, very big Bhashya, where Bhashyakara goes in length and establishes our understanding of what is Karana and what is Karya. So the summary of that discussion is this, that all Karya already exist in the Karana potentially. Is that clear? That is our Siddhanta. Because there are different opinions about Karana and Karya. There are different types of people are there who are arguing differently. There is something called as Satkaryavadi. Then there is a Satkaranavadi. Sorry, Asatkaryavadi, Asatkaranavadi. They are the first. The Buddhists are saying there is no Karana itself. The Nayayikas say that there is no Karya initially. So Asatkaryavadi, they are all called. In fact, Vedantins, we have to be called as Satkarya Karanavadi. Why? Because we say that all Karya is already there in the Karana potentially. Then what is all this effort? Because there is a potter who is bringing out the pot from the clay, correct? So how do we account for this effort of the potter in bringing out an effect from the cause? because for the cause to become the effect, there is some effort put in. So then for that only Bhashyakara says the effort is only with reference to bringing out a particular effect out of the karana, because karana is always in the form of some karya. Initially the clay is in the form of a lump. Lump also is an effect of clay. Is that clear? Now the effort is only to manifest the pot effect, and when one effect is manifest, all other effects of the same karana become unmanifest. So here Bhashyakara also makes it very clear that there is really no creation or destruction according to our Siddhanta. Everything is only a manifestation and unmanifestation. Whatever manifests from potential to a visible form or a tangible form is called a creation. And if whatever is visible, tangible again goes back into a potential form, that is called destruction or laya or resolution, whatever you can use the word. So our Siddhanta is very clear. All karya are already there potentially in the karana. But karana alone really exists. That also we have to understand. Even though we say that all karya are already there, that is only from the standpoint of this mithya jagat. The karana karya prakriya itself is only to show that the entire world is mithya and Brahman alone is satyam. So karanam is satyam, karya is mithya. That means mithya does not really count. You can have 100,000 jewelry. If all of them are gold, as gold, there is only one gold. Only one is there, gold. You can have 100,000 names and forms. Different types of jewelry are there. Chain, ring, earring, whatever it is. They are all mithya because they don't have an existence of their own. The karana alone exists. Karya is only a name and form. It is vacharambanam vikaro namadheyam, like that. Chandogya also says that. So here, the vak or sound in general is shown as the karana. Uktam means particularly the upadana karana, the material cause. And because it is the material cause, it is also Brahma, Yesham Brahma, you can see here. Brahma here means Atma. So the word Brahma in this place is used in the meaning of Atma. So that means the general sound is the Atma of all the specific sounds in any language you make. Why? Because sound alone supports, or sound alone gives its very existence to name, correct? Whatever you say is a name is nothing but a sound. So Sarvani Namani Bibharti, it only supports. Without sound being there, there are no specific names. Now in this context, we already saw the Bhashya of the first Bhashya. He introduces here this Brahmana. This we have seen. So now we have to continue from here. Katham punaha asya vyakrita avyakritasya kriya karaka phalatmanaha samsarasya nama rupa karma atmakata eva na punaha atmatvam. Now, how is it that whatever is manifest and unmanifest, correct? Vyakrita, avyakrita, and all this manifest and unmanifest world can be classified as kriya karaka phalatmakaha also. That means it can be classified as karma and its phala. Kriya and also karaka also Bhashyakara includes here, factors of action. So whenever you want to do action, you require the factors of action to support it. You need an instrument, you need an agent, you need an object of action, correct? You need a location. Like this kriya and karaka, and then the karma also has a phala. So in one way, if you look at it, this entire objective world can be categorized as action, factors of action, and the results of action. And this jagat, classified like this, can also be looked upon as nama rupam karma. Okay, and this jagat is again another Bhashyakara uses samsarasya, another adjective he uses. So this jagat is nothing but samsara. It is where we are going round and round, you can say. That's why it is samsara, correct? Samyak sarati. It is a world of becoming. People are always want to become something. Why do they want to become something? Because they think they are lacking something. They are a wanting being. So to become free from wants, you think that by becoming something, that freedom from that some particular want at least will be accomplished. But it is a never ending process, because what you really want is freedom from all limitations. Now that freedom from all limitations cannot be achieved as the result of an action. The limitless cannot be created newly. If it is really limitless, it has to be already there. The limitless cannot be reached. If it is limitless, it has to be there here and now. And if it is limitless, it cannot be separate from you, because if it is separate from you also, it will become limitless. So it has to be here and now, and it has to be you. That is the only thing which is possible, correct? If there is something really as limitless. But the Veda says it is there. Brahman is limitless, and that Brahman is not separate from you. So that is the teaching here. Unless one understands that it is samsara only, you will be going from one thing to another, you will keep on becoming something. It is a never ending thing. You will keep on doing karma, you will keep on accumulating karma phala, and that karma phala again will fructify another janma, again karma, like that it keeps on. It is like a perpetual motion machine, correct? In thermodynamics, we say that perpetual motion machine is not possible. But I think Brihadaranyaka says it is possible. The jiva is the perpetual motion machine, in fact, keeps on going. So here, this particular samsara, and it is nama rupa karma atmakata, it has. So its nature or self is what? The samsara itself is nama rupa karma, these three things only. And it is not your own self. Punar atmatvam, na punaha atmatvam, Bhashyakara says. How can we establish this? Iti etat sambhavitum shakyate iti. Katham sambhavitum shakyate. How we can establish this, or how is this possible? That all this entire jagat is anatma. How can you say that? And it is only made up of nama, rupa, and karma. That is being explained, he says. That's why this Brahmana itself starts like this. Trayam va idam nama rupam karma. So atra uchyate, this is being explained now. And tesham namnam yatha upanyasthanam vagiti shabda samanyam uchyate. So now continuing, tesham namnam. Bhashyakara is giving the commentary for this. Tesham namnam means yatha upanyasthanam. Tesham means those which have been already described. This nama rupam karma, amongst them, this nama, if you take, for that what? Vagiti shabda samanyam uchyate. So vag, here vag iti is there. Now again for that Bhashyakara is giving the meaning of vak. Vak means we normally understand that it is, vak is organ of speech, correct? But here Bhashyakara is giving the meaning Shabda Samanyam. That is the meaning of vak here. Vak here is sound in general. And how can he say that? So he gives quotation also for that. Already in the same 153 it was said that Yaha Kascha Shabdaha Vageva Sa. So all Shabda, all words are nothing but vak. This was already said in 153 in the previous Brahmana. So he is quoting that here. Iti uktatvat vagityetasya shabdasya yaha arthaha shabda samanya matram, he says. So here the meaning of vak is shabda samanya alone. and etesham nama visheshanam uktham karanam upadanam. So vagit etad yesham uktham. For this now he is giving the meaning. Iti etesham nama visheshanam. So all this nama visheshana means specific names. For all the specific names, the karana, upadana karana is vak, sound in general. Uktham. Uktham here means karanam, upadana. This brahmana itself is called Ukta Brahmana. And for that he is giving an analogy here. Saindava lavana kananam iva saindava chalaha. So you get the salt crystals from a rock mountain, from a salt mount, you can say. Saindava chalaha means because you have all this rock salt, correct? Even now you can buy this Himalayan rock salt and all that. That's all coming from, I don't know for how many more years it will come, but it is available at least nowadays. So in Bhashyakara's time also it was available. Salt was available naturally like that. Not only from the sea, but it was available as a mound, you can say. So Saindava Lavana Kanana means, you can say, Saindhava itself actually means something which is from Sindhu, correct? Sindhoho idam. Saindhava means something which comes from the sea. That's why the Saindhava in general, if it is there, it can have very many meanings. Whatever comes from the sea can be called as Saindhava. Even a Shankha can be called Saindhava. But here it is, that's why he makes it clear also. Lavana. Lavana is salt only. So Lavana Kanana Miva means salt crystals, salt particles. They are all coming from a salt mound, which is the source of all these things. Similarly, all the specific sounds, specific names are all nothing but coming from sound in general. So that is being said here now. Tadaha. What? How is it? How is it saying that? How is it establishing that? It is saying Ataha hi asmat nama samanyat sarvani namani yajnadattaha devadattaha ityevamadi pravibhagani uttishtanti utpadyante pravibhajyante. So now this part ataha hi sarvani namani uttishtanti. So Bhashyakara is commenting on this. Ataha hi means what? Asmat nama samanyat. Ataha here means from that. What is that? From this nama samanya or the sound in general. Sarvani namani, all the names. What are those? Like Yajnadatta, Devadatta. So Devadatta, Yajnadatta is popular in Sanskritam, correct? Whenever we want to give some proper noun, we give Devadatta and Yajnadatta as the example. So this has not started recently. You can see Bhashyakara also is using the same proper nouns. So Yajnadatta, Devadatta, Ityevamadi, Pravibhagani, those which are differentiated as different names, correct? Yajnadatta, Devadatta and all are different names. Pravibhagani, Uttishtanti, they are all coming from there. You can say they are all produced from only sound in general. Utpadyante, Pravibhajyante. So Uttishtanti means they all separately come out of this sound in general. Again, same analogy he gives. Lavana chala diva, lavana kanaha, like even the salt particles are coming out of a mound of salt. And here he is further giving explanation for that. What he says is karyam cha karanena abhyatiriktam. So this is our Advaita Siddhanta again. Karya is not separate from karana. It is abhyatirikta, not separate. Because if you want to establish that there is a separate karya, you cannot do that. Let us say you want to establish there is a pot. If you touch the pot, what are you touching? You are only touching clay. If you weigh the pot, it is the weight of clay. There cannot be any pot without clay being there. That means pot is only name and form. That's what we say, it is mithya. The karana alone is there really. The karya is not separate from the karana. Although it has usage also can be there. It can have a function. When it says nama rupam karma, in that karma function also we have to include. Nama rupam karma is there, but still it is mithya because it doesn't have an existence of its own. Therefore, it is non-separate from the karana. Any karya is non-separate from its material cause. That's why you see, you all are attached to gold jewelry, let us say. So we are all now only seeing mithya because we are attached to the jewelry. Now in a difficulty, you want to go and take loan, gold loan. The person who is giving you gold loan is a jnani because that person does not care about the name form, whether it is a chain, whether it is earring, ring, whatever it is, and has no emotional attachment also. Like it is my grandmother's ring and all that. He goes only by the weight. If it is so much weight is there, you will get so much money. So that is the difference in drishti. That is the jnana drishti. If you only see the karana, it is jnana drishti. If you see the karya and in the process, if you do not see the karana, then it is a ajnani drishti only. So karanena avyatiriktam karyam. That has to be very clear. So therefore here what? All specific names are not separate from sound in general. That's what Bhashyakara is saying. Tata visheshanam cha samanye antarbhava. So further he is explaining another point. What is that? All specifics are coming out of only some generalities, you can say, are generics. So all specifics are not separate from generics. So Visheshanancha Samanya Antarbhava. So all the specifics are included within the generic. That is the idea, correct? Again, those who have done object-oriented programming, you will know. So everything is derived from an object or a class, whatever. And all the derived, so you can say what? If you have a class called vehicle, then cycle also is a vehicle. Motorbike also is a vehicle, car also is a vehicle, helicopter also is a vehicle. So everything is a vehicle. All of them come under, they are all antarbhava only. They are all included within the class of vehicle. All specifics come under something which is more abstract and generic. So that also is pointed out here by the Upanishad itself because it is talking about this sama, etad esham sama. So that's what katam samanya vishesha bhavaha iti. So how you can say that this samanya itself is appearing as all the vishesha, that is said by the Upanishad only. So etad shabda samanyam yesham nama visheshanam sama. So etad yesham sama. Etad means shabda samanyam. Yesham means nama visheshanam. So the sound in general is etad. Yesham means all the specific names. So sound in general is the sama of all the specific names. That means it is sama means what? Samatvat sama. It is there. It is there equally, you can say, or it is there in general. Therefore, it is called sama. Samanyam ityarthaha. So sama means it is samanya. In general, it is there. So etad hi yasmat sarvaihi namabhihi atma visheshaihi samam. So since all these specific names have this generic sound as its own, their own self, or they are not really separate from it. Therefore, the generic sound is sama. It is there equally everywhere. Further, what kincha atma labha avisheshacha nama visheshanam. So here, all these nama visheshas are there. These specific names, their very atma is the same, because for all the specific names, their very self or very being is nothing but sound only in general. So sound is the atma of all the specific names. Nama visheshanam atma labha avisheshat means Different nama visheshanas are there. Their atmas are all only one, which is sound in general. Correct? Their being is nothing but sound in general. Therefore, that he is explaining here again. Yasya cha yasmad atmalabha bhavati sa tena apravibhaktaha drishtaha. So, by which one's own being is there, correct? One is not separate from that. That's what he is saying. So what it really means is he gives an example and makes it clear. Yatha gatadina mrida. So the part, the very being of the part is nothing but clay only. Clay is the being of pot, for a clay pot at least. And if there is no clay, there is no pot. But if there is no pot also, clay can be there. Understand that. That way, the karana transcends the karya. The cause transcends the effect. But the very being of the effect is nothing but the material cause only. So like even the clay is the very being of pot. Here, the very being of all the different specific names is nothing but generic sound. Therefore, this sound alone is there in reality. That is the idea here. Sound is the material cause. So katam nama visheshanam atmalabha vachaha iti uchyate. So how you can say this generic sound is the atma or being, self of all these specific names? How can you say that? Means that Upanishad itself says yataha etesham vak shabda vachyam vastu brahma atma, because this sound only is the brahma, it is the self of esham brahma, it is there, correct? Etad esham brahma, etad shabda samanyam, again esham, all this nama visheshanam brahma, Upanishad says. So the sound in general is the self of all the specific names. Therefore, so here the meaning of Brahma is Atma. Bhashyakara is giving here. Okay. Tataha hi atmalabha namnam. So from by being sound only, they can be also names, correct? But all sound may not be names if it is not intelligible. So that way also the sound in general transcends a name in specific. Understand that. But a name cannot be there without it being the sound. That is the idea here. So sound is the being of the different names. That Bhashyakara makes it very clear here. Shabda vyatirikta swarupa anupapatte. Without being sound, there cannot be any name. Okay. So Shabda Vyatirikta means what? Being separate from sound, there is nothing called name. Being separate from a clay, there is no clay pot, correct? Clay pot cannot become separate from the clay. It has to be always clay. A gold jewelry cannot become separate from gold. Its very being is gold. It cannot be separate from that and still be there as an existing thing. So it is not possible, it is not tenable that it can have a Swarupa other than its own upadana karana. Now that is being shown here. Tat pratipadayati. Etat shabda samanyam hi yasmat shabda visheshan sarvani namani bibharti. So finally he is saying etad hi is there here. Hi shabda, hi means yasmat. He can be used as indeed like that, a particle, but many times he is also used in the meaning of yasmat, because, like that. Yasmat is because. So etad, because this is this alone. Also you can say etad he means this alone also, but because this also is how Bhashyakara gives the meaning. Etad he is yasmat here. This Sabda Samanyam, because this Sabda Samanya is the one which is supporting. Okay, Shabda Visheshan Sarvani Namani Bibharti Dharayati Swarupa Pradhanena. So it supports all the specific names. How? By giving its own being to them. Swarupa Pradhanena. The clay alone supports the entire clay universe by giving its own being. The gold alone supports the entire golden universe of all the jewelry and whatever else you make with gold by giving its own existence to all the effects. So Swarupa Pradhanena, by giving its own being, its nature to all these effects, that's how it is supporting it. एवं कार्य कारणत्व उपपत्तेः सामान्य विशेष उपपत्तेः आत्म प्रधान उपपत्तेश्च नाम विशेषाणां शब्द मात्रता सिद्धा. So in this manner what? Evam, in this manner नाम विशेषाणां शब्द मात्रता सिद्धा. So in this manner this all the specific names are nothing but generals found. This is established. How? Through karya and karana. Because the generic sound is the karana, all the separate names are karya. Also, all the specific names are all coming under the general class of generic sound alone. And finally, sound alone gives its own very being to all the names. Like this, three things are there. Samanya Vishesha Upapattehe, Atma Pradhana Upapattescha. Through all these things, this has been established. Therefore, what evam uttarayoho api sarvam yojyam yathoktam. Now, the two more are there in this Brahmana, two more Vakya. There also you have to understand in this manner only. What are those things? We will see quickly. That's why here there is no big bhashya. See, you can see here, atha rupanam chakshuhu ityetad esham uktam ataha hi sarvani rupani uttishtanti etad esham sama etad hi sarvaihi rupaihi samam etadesham brahma etadhi sarvani rupani bibharti. So it's exactly similar, correct? Only thing is, instead of nama and vak, here rupa and chakshuhu. So ata rupanam chakshuhu iti etad uktam. So the ukta or upadana karana for all the specific forms is nothing but form in general means. That is called chakshuhu here. Chakshuhu means we have to take it as visibility, not the organ of vision, but visibility. First, everything, something has to be visible to you, correct? Then only you will know whether it is a horse or whether it is a goat or whatever it is, whether it is a rope or a snake or a pole or a thief. How will you know? First, something has to be visible. Visibility is the general characteristic. So similarly here, so ata idanim rupanam sita sita prabhritinam. Okay. So here all these rupas are there, forms. Okay. And what are them? Sita asita means light and dark and all, you can say, or white and black, like that. Different colors are there, correct? Sita sita prabhritinam, white, black, etc. All these colors, again in Sanskritam, rupa can mean both color and a form. It depends on the context. So here Bhashyakara is talking about color. Now they are all having this chakshu, means he says chakshur vishaya samanyam. They all have to be an object of your vision. That has to be there as the generic thing. So that object of your vision means they should all have the characteristic of being visible, visibility, you can say. So chakshuhu here is chakshur vishaya samanyam, being the object of this vision. That means they have visibility. That is the chakshu shabdam, shabda abhideyam. So they are all called as chakshuhu here. Rupa samanyam, form in general or visibility. Further he says prakashya matram, means what? Here it is clearly visibility, correct? It is prakashya, that which is revealed. Okay. Object of revelation, it has to be that alone. First it has to be revealed as something is there, then only you can go to what it is specific. So here chakshuhu is visibility in general. Ataha hi sarvani rupani uttishtanti. So from that only everything, all the forms are coming. First they have to be visible, then only specific forms can come. Therefore visibility is the sama, it is samanya, and it is there everywhere in all the forms which are visible, colors which are visible. Visibility has to be there first. It is there commonly, sarvaihi rupaihi samam, and visibility is the atma or the being of any color or form. Etadesham brahma, Etadhi sarvani rupani bibharti. Visibility alone is supporting all colors and forms. Like this, similarly, we have to understand. Then finally, what? Atha karmanam atma ityetad yesham uktam. Ataha hi sarvani karmani uttishtanti. Now for karma, thereafter what? Atma ityetad yesham uktam. Atma is the ukta. Atma is the upadana karma. Again, here the word Atma is used. The word Atma comes in different meanings in different contexts. Here it is physical body. Body is the Atma here. The word Atma here, the meaning is body. So body means, Bhashyakara says, the locus of activity. Body is the locus of activity, correct? All actions are happening in your body only, Sharira. So Sharira is the locus of your activities. So that is the Upadana Karana for all action. That is the source of all activity. So etadesham Atma Uktam. Okay. Atma etadesham Uktam. Ataha hi sarvani karmani uttishtanti. So from this body only all the activities are born. And etadesham sama. Here I think there should not be any gap. This is a spelling mistake here. Etadesham sama. Etadhi sarvaihi karmabhihi samam. Etadesham brahma. Etadhi sarvani karmani vibharti. So up to this point, it is very similar, the meaning. The action in general, the activity in general or body, which is the locus of all the activities, it has to be there for any action to take place. It is sama, and it is the very being of all action. And it is the one which supports all action. Then afterwards, Upanishad is now finally summarizing. What does it say? Tad etat trayam. These three things, nama rupam karma. What are they finally? They are nothing but sadekam. Ayam atma. Atma u ekaha san etat trayam. Tad etat amritam satyena. Channam pranaha va amritam nama rupe satyam tabhyam ayam pranachannaha. Okay, so now these three things, how they are, what is their nature, that's what is now being summarized. Now what is that? It is saying that these three things together when we take, okay, all these three things are having this body. Okay, so here again, Ayam Atma, these three things are having this body only as the basis. Without the body, there is no Rama, Rupa or Karma. So Ayam Atma, okay, so Sadekam, Ayam Atma, again Atma U Ekaha, like that also is there. That is called Atmo, it is there. So don't get confused by Atmo. Atma U. U is a particle separately added. That becomes Atmo. Atma U Ekaha. So being this Karyakarana, this physical body, this Pinda, Bhashyakara calls it as Pinda. Andam, Pindam and all we use these words. So Anda means cosmos or macrocosm. Pinda means microcosm, this individual body. So this body, being this body only, these three things are there and they are covering up something. Okay, that's what now Upanishad is pointing out now. They are covering up. What are they covering up? Okay, so they are all one in the form of this body, although we talk about as three things, Nama, Rupam, Karma. But this body, these three things being in the body, they cover the prana. Here we have to say Here, first the Upanishad says Amritam. Okay. Tad etat Amritam Channam Satyena. So by these three things, this Amritam is covered. Whatever is immortal, the Deha takes on the qualities of the Dehi. So you think that Deha is sentient, Deha is conscious. So that is what here Anyonya Adhyasa is pointed out. There is an error is made. The body is taken as I. The qualities of I are superimposed on the body. Then the qualities of the body are superimposed on I, and all sorts of problems starts from there. Correct? Anyonya Adhyasa is there. So that is what is being pointed out here. So Channam Pranaha Amritam. Pranaha va Amritam. So whatever this Amrita, this immortal Dehi, is covered by this body, and body itself is having this Nama Rupam Karma. These are all Anatma. They are covering. And that whatever is Amrita is nothing but Prana. Prana is another word it is used here. Prana was already talked about, correct? Prana Upasana was talked about in the third Brahmana also. In the fifth Brahmana also, we talked about Prana Upasana just previously. So this Prana, which is the Amrita, Nama Rupe Satyam Tabhyam Ayam Pranachannaha. So here, these things, these three things, okay, are covering this Prana, which is Amrita, which is immortal, which is Prana is the one which was shown as always there, correct? Which is the one which supports all other organs. No other organ or body can function with if Prana is not there. And Prana has to keep on going all the time. These things were given as specialities of Prana, and Prana was praised, and Prana Upasana was talked about. Now that Prana is finally shown as Brahman only. Prana is this Amrita, and this Satyena. Again here, this Satya means, don't think the word Satya also is used in different meanings in different contexts. Here, Satyena, Satyam, these things are all used here. This is not in the context of Satyam as the ultimate reality. Even in Taittiriya Upanishad, Satchatyacha Bhavat Niruktancha Niruktancha and all is there, correct? Again, Asadva Idamagre Asid Tato Sadajayata and all comes. So sometimes the word Sat and Satyam is used in a very relative way also. Whatever is tangible, visible and all is called Satyam. And Asat means that which is again unmanifest, invisible, intangible. These things are all called Asat. So here, this Prana really is something which is covered, correct? By the body, which is very tangible, correct? The body, which is again made up of Nama Rupa Karma, or which is the locus of Nama Rupa Karma, is covering up this Prana, which is nothing but Amritam Brahma. So by this Tabhyam Nama Rupa, I am Pranachannaha, this Prana is covered. Like that, this particular Brahmana ends. So now it is showing you that this entire Srishti is nothing but Nama Rupam Karma, and that is covering this Atma. So here Atma Anatma Viveka is one of the fundamental things in Vedanta. First we have to understand what is I, what is not I. The not I is very clearly shown here. as having nama rupam karma, and not I itself has this body as the locus, and this body itself is covering your reality, which is amrita, which is immortal, which is timeless, limitless reality of yourself is covered by this limited body. That covering only is really the avarana, that is also part of avidya only, that is ajnana. So this ajnana is pointed out here by the Upanishad. So here we have to do this atma anatma viveka. So it is very simple actually, but not easily grasped also. Because the simple rule is whatever I see is not I. That's all. This you can keep on, you can contemplate on that. Okay, whatever I see is not I. Now I see this computer. Nobody takes computer as I, correct? There is no confusion there. I see a laptop in front of me. I am not confusing the laptop as I. Well and good. Then there are clothes on me. This also I don't confuse. I see the clothes. There is no confusion. I don't think I am this particular Uttariya or anything like that. There is no confusion. Where does the confusion start? That's why here Upanishad also beautifully, it doesn't say all other objects are really covering the Amritam. It says that Atma, body, the physical body and the other bodies only are really covering. The confusion starts right from your physical body. I know my body, still I take it as I. This is a fundamental error, ignorance. Whatever I know is an object of my knowledge. I am always the subject. I cannot be this body. Very easy to say, very easy to have an insight also. But again, very easy to slip back into the mode and again take part in all vyavahara as though your body is I. So body is a locus of your error. By being the locus of your error, it covers your reality. Is that clear? That is how it is covering. Otherwise, there is no, how can the infinite be covered? Like that, you can ask a logical question, correct? How can the sun be covered by a small leaf? Means if you keep the leaf right in front of your eyes, it will cover the sun, correct? Even a small leaf, depending on where it is, can cover something as huge as the sun. In reality, it is not covering. It is covering not the sun, it is covering your vision, actually speaking. Here also, by taking the body as I, the body becomes the locus of that error. By being the locus of that error itself, it becomes a covering. It is as though cover. Understand that there is no real cover. Even when we talk about the Pancha Kosha Prakriya, Bhashyakara says, Koshavat Achadayati. Like, okay, Eva, also the words are used many times, as though it is covering. Koshavat Eva Achadayati. There is no real covering. Infinite cannot be covered. Limitless cannot be covered. But it can still be covered by ignorance. So here, I take the body as I, even though it is an object of my knowledge. I take prana as I, all the physiological process as I. So I say, I am thirsty. I am hungry. That also is an error. Then I am, even all indriya and all, we superimpose this I on that. I am blind. I am deaf. Means you are now placing the I on your indriya. I am lame. I am stupid. I am idiotic. I am knowledgeable. Mind also. Whatever is happening in your mind, you know that. All thoughts you know. That's why Pujya Swamiji used to say, Normal logic is what? I know my sorrow, therefore I am sad. Correct? I know I am in sorrow, let us say, or I know my sorrow, therefore I am sad is the normal logic. In Vedanta, I know my sorrow, therefore I am not sad. Understand that, because sorrow is also an object of your knowledge. You are only the knowing consciousness, which has neither sorrow nor any happiness or anything like that, bliss or whatever. It is consciousness. It is the limitless consciousness which is always revealing. Everything is becoming evident to that. You are that alone. All object of knowledge is not I. No, that is what is being shown here. We'll continue the Bhashya, and with that next week we'll finish this Brahmana and then we'll enter the second Adhyaya. So we'll continue. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.